Hello and welcome to Chugging Along with me, Tim.
And me, Sam.
So yes, we want to say thank you for all of the comments on our last video, and in fact we want to give a shout out to 3 people who did actually get a question right. And the question was, what model of drone does Sam fly? And Dave the Nerd, Leslie Matheson and Fun with AJ were all absolutely correct in saying that the model is actually called Sam on a Bridge, which is a really interesting drone on the market, isn't it? I think it has 0 minutes flight time.
Oh yeah, it might do, but it's very stable, it's very reliable. So if you're new here, we're on a big summer narrowboat journey where we're going from Theale to Llangollen, and in today's journey we're going to pick up from Heyford and we're going to continue our journey on the Oxford Canal to the massively underrated town of Banbury.
So we have an action-packed vlog today, filmed over 2 days cruising, which includes our chimney getting decapitated by a bridge. But that was actually the best thing that could have happened to us, and we're going to explain why.
And we'll also be going up Tim's favourite look, and we find a piece of heaven on the canal with outdoor sofas and pigs. So you want to stick around till the end of this video to also hear the statistics as well.
But before we get into this video, I am going to make a confession here. So last week we got quite a few comments talking about the geese in Oxford that carpet bombed our boat with their muck. And yeah, people were saying it. We hope that Marielle is absolutely spick and span for this week's vlog. We thought that the rain would take care of most of that. We must say that possibly it didn't, and when it comes to cleaning the boat, the outside of the boat, which is my job and I take full responsibility for that, I think it was something that I would do thoroughly and not so regularly, rather than simply just taking the mop off the roof, dipping it in the canal and scrubbing it down regularly. I've learnt that now. I didn't know that at the time, and if you do feel sadness or anger at any point in this video, please just simply comment below, Tim, you are a moron.
Let's get started with today's cruise, just south of Heyford. And we saw a boater go past in the morning. He buys boats that need work and he fixes them up as he cruises them down to London to sell them for a good price. Quite a cool job, and good to have all those handy skills.
Good, thanks. So now we are next to Heyford railway station, which is very close to Oxfordshire narrowboats.
They have big 6-berth narrowboats for week-long holidays and diddy day boats. You're also in a beautiful part of the country.
You get a really nice view of that stone barn and church there.
So waiting to go through Heyford Common Lock, we still had the chimney up. Having already gone through some of the low bridges already, and having been on the River Thames before, it hadn't clicked yet that we should have taken it down. This would be our moment of reckoning.
So now we are going to do a dramatic reenactment of the exact moment that the chimney got decapitated. I will be the Marielle, and Sam, you will be Bridge 200.
Bridge 200.
Okay, here we go. Oh no. Sam, did you at least film it so we can share this terrible moment with our lovely subscribers?
No, because my phone was on the boat. And luckily it could be burnt back into place. We didn't realise this wasn't uncommon for chimneys to be like this. All it needs is a paint job, which we will be doing on the whole boat after our journey.
When the chimney hit the bridge, some of the bridge actually landed on the roof, and we kept it as a memento here, and we put it in a herb jar, and my dad printed off the label for us, so he has Bridge 200 of the Oxford Canal.
It's a little piece of Bridge 200 history now on Marielle.
It is, isn't it? Amazing, really.
So we stopped here for the weekend to gather our thoughts and relax, realising that our long winter break from cruising meant we had to learn how to cruise again. But that moment humbled us and taught us to keep our wits about us, and that every waterway is different.
And it was great that we stopped for the weekend here. It was such a nice place to walk amongst the rolling Oxfordshire hills.
We were rejuvenated after the weekend, and it was now time for us to leave for a long day's cruise to Banbury. But first, what's that coming over the hill?
Going far up there then?
Just to Banbury, we think. Yeah. So we topped up our diesel and jerry cans and set off. Of course, with the chimney inside this time. This is the Oxfordshire equivalent of the Hollywood sign. It really does put Los Angeles to shame.
This is Tim's favourite lock, Somerton Deep Lock. The views are amazing, but the lock gate was so heavy that Tim had to climb up the ladder to help me push it. We love the lockkeeper's cottage, which is cut off from roads. It feels like you're back in the time of the canal's heyday.
We are now in Ino, or Ainho, I can't remember which one it is, where long-term moorers use wind turbines. This place is full of bad memories for us, well, particularly Sam, as this is where she fell in the canal. And don't forget, if we do reach 10,000 subscribers, we will be sharing the footage of that, so if you're not subscribed, you might want to do that.
This is the second weir lock on the South Oxford, where the canal very briefly joins the River Cherwell again.
And look who we saw. It's only our winter mooring in Thames cruising buddy Jeff, who is actually stuck in the lock gate here. Luckily, we could help him out. Of course, it was his idea, the technique and everything like that. But now it's time for another reenactment.
Jeff's brilliant idea was for us to try and create waves by using the paddles in order to dislodge whatever was holding the gate, stopping him from getting through. So he explained that Tim and I both had to go to the lock paddle, and in unison we had to crank up the paddles up at the same time and then crank them down as quickly as we could at the same time. And we did that about 3 or 4 times, creating a wave as demonstrated by Tim, and eventually that actually dislodged what was blocking the gate and Jeff was able to go through into the lock.
Yeah.
Success.
With Jeff now free, he could go more up the night, whereas we went to heaven, Piggy's place. It's a campsite, a farm, farm shop, bar, cafe, restaurant and narrowboat mooring area. Any railway fan will be able to say what disused line this bridge was on. Comment below. I'm expecting my brother and dad to know this without research.
There were lots of lift bridges left up in this section. We weren't too sure why. It is handy though. The Cotswold stone really makes this scene beautiful. We're in King's Sutton now and fast approaching Banbury.
These cows wanted to come with us to Banbury, but their farmer wouldn't let them.
Now here's an eerie abandoned lockkeeper's cottage, which would make a lovely home. It has great views, but it's currently roofless. A massive shame. It's quite scary walking past it. Someone called Dion Dublin from Homes Under the Hammer now.
So seeing these houses here meant that we were on the outskirts of Banbury, and there we had actually caught up with Dusty the fuel boat, as you can see it on the right there.
This is near Banbury railway station. You can moor there, but we think that the mooring areas right in the town centre and at Spiceville Park are a lot better.
They have good facilities in Banbury, including recycling, where we said goodbye to a few empty bottles of sherry. Those £5 bottles from Sainsbury's really kept us going over the winter.
You can feel the buzz of Banbury whilst on the canal.
We were moored right in the town centre, where they are making a new Premier Inn and another mixed-use building. They were actually working on it throughout the night, but we were so tired we slept right through it.
Banbury is a nice sized town. It's well positioned in the country, with some people considering it the south and some people considering it the Midlands. It has direct railway connections to Birmingham, London and Manchester. It's also not that expensive. We think it's a gem of a town. But you'll have to watch our vlog next week to see what we got up to in our short stay.
So that is the end of this week's video. Join us next week as we complete the South Oxford Canal and then we join on to the Grand Union. But before we get on to the Grand Union, as promised, we will be doing our summer cook-off. So next week we will be releasing our recipes, which will have a thermal cooker and a barbecue element to them. Very exciting stuff.
So now it's time for those all-important statistics.
Oh yes, of course. So over the 2 days we did 13 miles and 7 locks, and that was all in 12 hours, thus making our average speed 1.1 miles an hour. Quite slow, isn't it?
It was, but I think there was also a lot of wind that day.
That now brings down our trip average to 1.8 miles an hour, and now we have done 105 out of 269 miles to Llangollen, which is, yeah, very exciting stuff. We're over the 100 now.
Yes. So thanks guys for watching this video all the way to the end, and remember, no matter what you do in life, you've got to
Keep